first we should know what are clients in the SAP system. What are the types of clients we have? What are the default clients? Okay. See, I have just following from my previous class notes. If you have anything additional, I can write it down here. So if you see here, client administration for a basis point of view, SAP client is just a partition in the SAP database. So like this, we will have many partitions, many clients, I mean to say. So each client in the SAP system, it has user master data, user master records, client specific data, means with the data which is local to that client, and transaction data. It means whatever you do the transactions, that transaction data. So these three components we have in a client. So why do we create client? A client we create, when we want to create, example here I can give examples. Client can be created to define a new company. To define a new company in the SAP system. A company, if you want to define in the SAP system, then it is a client. And we can define a client we can also define these clients for testing environment. I want to have a separate client for testing environment, training environment. In companies we conduct trainings. For that training we need to have some data, right? We will create a separate client for training. We'll create a separate client for development, quality assurance. We can write it down: quality testing, quality checks. To say.
This is all created in the same database?
Yeah, it depends. It depends. You may want to have two SAP systems in your company. See, I'm defining, a client can be for testing environment, a training environment, for development environment, for quality checks, for customization environment, for pre-production environment, and for production environment. I'm saying, client can be created for these reasons. Either you want to have all these things in single system, or you want to share some of the clients in another SAP system and some other in another SAP system. It depends. You will come to know that in the next topic, that is a transport management system. That time, I'll explain you what clients is created in which system. But today, this client administration is, a client is created for testing, training, development, customization, quality checks. And also we have one more client called sandbox client after development. It is also called as a development client only, sandbox. Sandbox client, sometimes we call it as, it is a development client actually. Some people will call development client, some people will call sandbox client, like that. So this, so if you see in my R3 document, you will have all these things. Let me open this. Oh, not this. I'll give you more information on this client. In our R3 document, you'll have the client environments. R3 document. This is R3 introduction, right? You see here common clients and its roles: customization, quality and assurance, production. Additional client: sandbox client, test client, training client, pre-production client. These are standard clients. Okay, SAP defined this. These are the clients. It can be available in any company. Apart from this, it depends on the company. Company requirement. They can have some additional clients. Okay. So these are the different clients. We can create a client for different purpose. The production client means in that production client we define a new company, and that company data we will maintain. So two different company data also maintained in the same company, in same SAP system. So like that, SAP has given a scope where we can create 000 to 999 clients. In this range, when a SAP is installed, there are default clients available. Means by default, it comes along with the installation. It is 000, 001 and 066. These three clients are available by default in the SAP system. Out of these three, 000 client is a admin client, is a it's a main client which contains all the templates. 001 client is a dummy client. It's a dummy client, it doesn't have any data. 066 is also doesn't have any data, but this client we will use for early watch alerts. Suppose if a person who is not, our company related, who is not our company person, but because of some issues, we are inviting a third-party person to check our SAP system for some additional data, so like to fix some issues, or to to analyze some data, or to check our SAP configuration. It could be anything. It's a client person, it's a client, our business client person, it could be a third-party support person, it could be anybody. But people who are logging in our SAP system, who are not authorized, I mean to say who are third-party persons or a business client persons, they can check our SAP system configuration, SAP system logs, SAP system, and modules. All they can do from 066 client, because they are called early watch. It is called early watch client. It is also doesn't have any data, but when you log on to the client, you can see the system configuration. You can see the SAP system logs, isn't it? So these are the default clients. I'll tell you here. I'll make a note of here. This is a main client, or we can say admin client also. This is a dummy client. And what is this one? We call it as early watch client. These are by default available on any SAP system. Now, the SAP software is two types. If you see in what software we are using, you see here always you will have a SAP demo systems, and those demo systems we call it as a IDES ERP. Even in your system also you will find this IDES ERP. What do you mean by IDES? Means International Demo Education Systems. SAP has come up with the two software packages for SAP ERP. One for training companies, one for actual companies. For SAP there are two customers. People who want to give training centers, they are one type of customers. Non-training centers, which are our companies, retail companies, oil and gas companies, they are customers, other customers. They are non-IDES, they will install. The software which is installed in the actual companies, it is not IDES, it is a non-IDES. Because the non-IDES people have to buy the user licenses additionally, and each user license will cost close to $1,200 US. Whereas training company cannot afford that much of cost. They will buy directly IDES ERP systems from the SAP. It comes along with the temp license. They have to just pay the money for software license. Means for ERP software package they will pay, and it is costing around 20 to 25,000 US dollars. And for customers they'll give free of cost. Those who buy user licenses, they are, they'll give free of cost. And for training companies, these training companies, like you have joined a training company and you got the server access, and that's a IDES ERP. And the training company, they have to they have to maintain the server, and they buy the IDES ERP softwares. In these IDES ERP systems, you will have additional clients which we call it as the IDES default clients. It is only available in the IDES SAP system. It is called IDES default clients. These 4 clients are available by default soon after the installation, if the installation is SAP IDES ERP software. So 800, 810, 811, 812. The one you might have given the user ID 800 client user ID, because 800 client is already exist in the SAP system after the installation. Why they have given these 4 IDES default clients means each client will have some customization data, like people who want to train in finance module, they need to have some finance sample data, sales, logistics, so these IDES SAP clients will come with some data which is loaded. So by that data, with the help of that data, it is very easy for a trainer to teach on functional modules like BI, business intelligence, business warehousing, finance and accounting, sales and distribution, HR. So if we will get some sample data in these clients. So that is why IDES default clients are additional clients if it is IDES ERP system. Non-IDES means you will have only these clients. You understand the difference? Okay. Yeah, the clients in the SAP system is of 2 types. One we call it as a cross client, the other one we call it as a client specific. So whenever we create a client, we will make the client as a cross client, or we will make the client as a client specific. In the client properties, while creating a client, in the client properties we will declare this as a cross client, this is a client specific. If it is a cross client, in the cross client it will allow you to do changes to the cross client customization object. It means whenever you do changes to the cross client customization objects or repository objects, it will change all the clients in the SAP system. The data will be changed in every client in the SAP system. Means cross client will allow you to do global changes. For example, I have a application package. SAP has released a application package to install in the SAP system. If I install I should log into the SAP system in a particular client. Without client I cannot log on with my user ID. My user ID is created in a client and I should log into that client. After logging into that client, even though if I am an admin, I have to install the support package for a particular application in the SAP system as per the SAP recommendations. So the package, for example, basis support package, if I am installing, if I install that package, it will apply to only one client or it will apply to all the clients in the SAP. It has to apply all the clients in the SAP. There is a error which is not getting resolved. To fix that error, SAP has released a fix. That fix we are calling it as a support package. So when I install the support package, it shouldn't be applying to only one client, it should be applying to all the clients, so that error will not be repeated in another client. So such type of changes we will do from the cross client, and mostly cross clients are admin clients. It is not the other clients. Only basis people will access the cross client. All other teams, they will have client specific data. Because other team members, why should they update the other client? They shouldn't do that, isn't it? Only administrators like basis guys, they will have access to the admin client, or they can convert the existing client into cross client and they will do changes and they will revert back to the client specific. The second type of client is client specific. Client specific means whenever you do changes, it will apply to only that client, it will not apply to other client. It is client dependent or client specific changes. And these are the different activities as a basis admin guys we are responsible for in the client administration. Number one is client creations, 100, 200, 300 client or 2101 client, 201, any client from starting from 000 to 999. If the client number is not already available in this SAP system, that client number you have to choose for creating a new client. And client will have a client number. And this client number will have a alias name. We call it as a logical system name. It is a user friendly name. We will attach to every client. It is optional. It is not must. And that logical system name creation we can do using a T-code, SALE, SAP application link and enabling the process we call it. And client deletion process, client logs, whenever client activities like client deletion, client creation, client copying the data, all this information, the log information is available in the SCC3. You can check the logs whether client is successfully copied, whether client is successfully deleted or not. That information you can see in the SCC3. It is a logs. I'll put here logs for client copy, client import, client export, etc. And the next T code is local client copy. Local client copy means, see, for client copy you need to have two clients, isn't it? One is source client, the other one is target client. You are copying the data from one client to another client. If the client 1 and client 2 both belongs in the same SAP system, then we start local client copy. It is the process of local client. Because clients are local to the SAP system, we are doing local client copy. The T code is SCCL. If the client, source client is in one SAP system, target client is in another SAP system, in that case we will do the remote client copy. It is called remote client copy. In the remote client copy, we will use RFC connections. I will show you practically how to use that. RFC connection is linking between these two different clients. So SAP to SAP integration means before integration there is a linking process. The linking process we call it as a creating a link from one client to another client between the SAP systems, or one SAP system to another non-SAP system, one SAP system to another ERP, PeopleSoft SAP, PeopleSoft ERP system. Like that, we have several scenarios. Integrating two different SAP systems starts with a link. That link in SAP system we call it as a RFC, remote function call. And in the remote client copy, I will be showing that RFC. And the client import process, this client import is a post-import methods we will use in the SCC7. Actual import will be done in the STMS. Client export, data export from one client to another client, it is import. From my client, it is export. Like that. SCC3. These are the various different T codes we are responsible for in a company. You will have different naming. Client refresh, some people will say client refresh, system refresh. Those are all things. After completing these all T codes and all these tasks, I will explain you what is the process. What is client refresh means? What is system refresh means, like that. Now, let me practically go with the basic actual configuration. People will give a different naming for these steps for this process. They'll give different name. Okay, first of all, the core configuration we will go through, and after doing all this configuration, and I'll explain you what is system refresh, client refresh means, and heterogeneous copy, homogeneous system refresh, like that. They will have different names. Okay, they are They are part of all this configuration only, but naming is different. Okay.